Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, hello again. So this is my channel. I love to do DIYs on a budget, Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, farmhouse and rustic, reads, and seasonal decor. So if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up. Also comment, that helps. I love to hear what you guys think. And also don't forget to subscribe. So you can also follow me over on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Facebook. And I also have an Etsy shop, and I sell a lot of kits that you guys can craft yourselves. Plus, I sell whatever I make. So go check that out. That's in my description box below. But today is all about 5 under 5, and we're doing Decoupage Decor. And our host is Farm Charm Chic, and our guest is Buffy Designs. More about that in a minute, but first, DIY number 1. So the first DIY, I'm going to be taking some of this white paint, also some ribbon, and some stripped fabric. That's the napkin I'm going to be using on here that I'm going to Mod Podge on to this cutting board that I have. And also there's the Mod Podge and some raffia as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint this with that white acrylic paint. And then once that's all done, I'm going to cut out my napkin. I'm going to use the one side on the bottom there. And then you always want to take off the second ply that's on your napkin. Next, I'm going to use the Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put that on my board with a little sponge brush. And then I'm going to put my napkin where I would like to place it. Mine's on the bottom there. Now, to help the wrinkles, you can use a mini iron, and that will help with some paper over the top and parchment paper, and that helps get out all the wrinkles and smooths it out. Next, I'm going to, oh my God, sandpaper off the rest with my little sander. And then I'm going to take this ribbon. This is burlap ribbon. I have this in my Amazon shop. It is linked down below in my description box. And I'm just going to put that across the center of my cutting board. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. And I also put a little glue on the end as well to make sure it stays down. Then I'm going to take some twine and my Bodabra, and I'm just going to put that in between. And then I'm just going to start taking strips of fabric that I get from all over the place. Anywhere I get it, I can always get it, on sale. And then I'm just going to start looping it like a bow. And I'm just going to start looping it back and forth. And I'm just using strips of ribbon that match whatever I'm making. So in this case, I have a little bit of the yellow, the blue, every color that was in that napkin I am putting into my little bow. And you just keep looping it back and forth. And you just do it as full as you want to make it. You don't have to do as much as I'm doing. This is just what I wanted to use. I like to have my bows really full. And then I took some raffia, stuck that in the center as well. And then I'm going to put some more ribbon on the top. And I'm going to loop it back and forth. And then I'm going to take the string and I'm going to pull it up and tie it in a knot. And that's going to tie my bow together. And then I'm just going to trim my tails as short as I want them. And also the raffia, I trimmed that as well. Now I'm going to take some of this thick twine that I had, and I'm just going to wrap it around the top portion there of my board. I just put a little glue down and then just wrapped it. And then to seal it up, you're just going to wrap it to the back, put a little more glue, and then cut the excess off. Then I'm going to take another piece of that twine, and I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to cut it into a knot. And I'm going to leave some of it dangling down, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my wooden beads that I have that match this, and I'm going to put those on the little pieces of string that are hanging down. I'm just going to feed them through, like so. And then I'm going to tie a knot at the end so that they stay in place, and cut that off. And now I'm just going to glue my bow at the top where my beads are. And there you go, you guys. Isn't it cute? So then I felt like it needed something in the center. So I took this grateful sign that I had in my stash, and I just painted it with some burnt orange, and then I just glued it down to the center. And that's it, you guys. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So like I said, this is 5 under 5, and we are Mod Podging, decoupaging stuff that we have, and it's 5 under 5, so everything's under $5. These are our hosts. There's also going to be a playlist, so go check out the playlist. It's all in my description box below. So now DIY number 2. So DIY number 2, I had these really cool papers, scrapbook papers that I wanted to use with this that I cut out in my laser machine that I have. I have the option of cutting out my own designs, which I love to do. These are available, will be available in my Etsy shop, so go check it out. So what I'm doing first is I am going to trace them all out. Each piece is like a puzzle, and the bottom part of the board you'll be able to see, and you'll know where to place everything. So then I took some burnt umber, and I'm just going around the edges just so that, you know, if any little pieces peek out, it all goes together. Then it also has a little stand that stands up, and then these pieces I did with a white acrylic paint. And then I took my Mod Podge, and now we're going to Mod Podge all these scrapbook papers that we cut out onto these pieces. And I did all these different colors, which are super cool. But you can use any scrapbook paper you want, any colors you want that have to do with fall, and you could do the same thing. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking some of my dark antiquing wax that I love using, and I'm going to make this look a little rustic and old. So I'm going around the edges with the stencil brush, I'm using my fingers. I also use a baby wipe. If I get too much, it wipes right off, okay? But I am rubbing it in once I do it on the edges and just kind of making it look like, you know, it's old. It gives it that vintage vibe, and that's what I love so much. So this is also in my Amazon shop if you're interested in getting the dark wax. But it's super fun to use. I use it all the time. If you like this look, I would definitely tell you to get it. This lasts a long time, guys. I've had it for a couple years. So it lasts a long time. And because you're only using a little. And if you don't like this look, then you skip this part altogether. Like I said, you can use any scrapbook paper you want. Mod Podging could be napkins, scrapbook paper. It could be any of that stuff for you guys. Then of course I sanded the edges to make sure I got all the excess paper off. And now we're gonna use some antique wax again on the edges of these pieces as well, just so everything kind of goes together with that look. And I love this because it kind of defines where the cutoff is for each piece, and I like that as well. So once I get that all done, then we're going to start gluing everything down. So now you see how you can see the pieces, so you know exactly where to put everything. And now I'm just placing them down first, so I know that's where they go. And then once I get them all situated, I'm going to start gluing them down. Now I use super wood glue from the Dollar Tree and also hot glue. I swear by this stuff. It's awesome, you guys. It works really, really well, and it holds your pieces, especially wood. And then you're just going to glue each one down. And I'm going to do that with each piece. So yeah, this is super simple. Now in my shop, this is not $5, you guys. It costed me $5 to make it because I cut out with the wood and made it myself. But you can find, if you don't want to get this, you know, in my shop, you can also go find at the Dollar Tree, they have tons of pumpkins. And you can create this yourself. You can cut strips out of cardboard, and you can Mod Podge the cardboard like a puzzle and make your own, you know, little thing. So this can go so many ways. So yeah, just you can cut strips, and you could just put it on your pumpkin and just cut it out individually. You can also do cardboard and cut it out like a puzzle and make that. I mean, everything could be under $5. You just got to use your imagination. And then I'm going to take the pieces that hold this up, and I'm going to glue those together. So there's 2 pieces that go on top of each other with this kit, and then you just glue, there's a little ledge on the bottom of the pumpkin. You just glue that into the little slot, and it'll stand up. Okay? So yeah, guys, that's it. So there it is. So like I said, use your imagination, and this can be under $5. So now DIY number 3. So now this DIY, I took a mason jar from the Dollar Tree, And I'm going to use some more scrapbook paper, some more ribbon, fabric that I cut into strips. And these pieces I cut out on my laser cutter as well, but you can use anything in your stash that could be, you know, that you can use to put on your board, to put on your mason jar. I'm using these paints, also my dark wax again, and of course Mod Podge. So now I'm going to cut this off the top. I didn't want that twine and I didn't want the metal piece. Okay, so then I just traced out my mason jar, and then I'm going to cut out the scrapbook paper, and then I'm going to do the edges with my little sponge that I have and some paint. I'm using a warm white, it is. And then I'm going to use my Mod Podge, and I'm going to put that down on the top of my mason jar, and then I'm going to glue that down with my... Oh my God, I can't talk today, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm exhausted. We went to Aquatica yesterday with 5 kids, and I'm just so tired. It was the 4th of July, and I'm so exhausted. I'm doing my voiceover on the 5th, so I'm doing it today for you guys. So as you can see, I'm painting every single piece, the colors that I want. The bird is like a crow, so I'm doing like the black with the yellow beak, and then one of the sunflowers I did with the yellow. It's goldenrod color, and then I did the other one with a warm white color. And then, of course, I'm going to go around the edges with my wax and I'm going to make them look a little old and rustic. And I did that with both pieces. But if you have sunflowers, you can put a regular sunflower, cut it off of one of your picks from the Dollar Tree and stick that on here. You can do that. So there's so many different things you can do. Then I went around the edges with my dark wax on the mason jar as well. And I'm also going to do that on the front of it as well. Now, you could skip this part, like I said, if you don't like this look, but I do. I like the farm, rustic, vintage look. And I did it all around the edges, you guys, too, with that wax. It made it look old. Now I'm going to take my brush, and I'm just going to rub a little bit on the top and make it look a little more old and make it look super cool. Now I'm going to take my Bodabra, and I'm just going to stick my strips and do like an X formation and make that my bow. Sorry, if you hear thumping, it's my kids playing upstairs, so I apologize. And I just, keep going with strips of ribbon that match. And then I also stuck some raffia on there as well, tied it together, and now I'm sticking it down on my mason jar in the corner. And then these 2 pieces go on the bottom, and I'm just going to glue those down. And then the little bird, I'm going to stick in the center of my little X bow that I made there with my fabric. And I think it looks so cute. Look at that. And then I'm going to take some of this. This is Anna's, Sweet Annie, and I'm just going to glue that in there. I get this on Etsy, so if you search Sweet Annie, it'll come up. And you get a whole bag of it like I have there. And it lasts a really long time because I only take a few pieces and glue them into spots where I want to put them. And I think this just gives it a nice little touch. So I glued it on each side, and then I glued another piece underneath. And there it is, you guys. So tell me what you think down below in the comments. So now we're going to do DIY number 4. This one's super easy. I'm going to take a piece of wood from the Dollar Tree, and I'm also have this piece that I printed for free on a piece of rice paper. And then I'm going to use some more dark wax, and I'm going to use, this is, what was it? Oh my God, I forget. Plaster by Waverly. Yes, that's what I used for the wood. Now I'm just taking a fine brush and I'm dipping it in water, and I'm going around the edges of my image because I'm going to tear it. And what that'll do is it tears only like where you put the water, so that helps to tear it. And this is rice paper. I get it on Amazon. It's really cheap. You get a lot of it. lot of it, and you just stick it in your printer on another piece of card stock paper. You tape it down with some paper, and then you can print it on your printer. Then I put some Mod Podge down, of course, and then I Mod Podged it down. And then I'm going to take this makeup brush from the Dollar Tree, stick it in my dark wax, and then kind of just rub it in a circular motion around the edges so it looks like it blends in to the wood. And if you get too much, like I said, I just used a baby wipe and wiped it up. And I did that all around all of it. And then also I went around the edges as well with my stencil brush so that everything goes together. I did the back as well. Then I'm going to take this little piece of wood that I got from the Dollar Tree. They have these all the time at fall. You could buy a whole bag of them for $1.25. And then I took some Spanish moss and stuck that around the top part of my stump. And this is supposed to look like a pumpkin. I know it's square, you guys, but it's super rustic and it stands up, and I think it turns out really cute. Then I stuck some of this little greenery that I had in my stash, and I just stuck 2 pieces on the top. You could use any greenery you have. And there it is, you guys. Super cute. I love it. I love using the rice paper technique. Then DIY number 5. Now this one's really cool. You guys are going to die when I do this. I'm using these paints. I'm using one of these plaques from the Dollar Tree. I'm using some raffia, and I'm using bubble wrap and also cardboard. You ready for this one, guys? And I didn't use that scrapbook paper, but you could use the scrapbook paper if you want. You get it at Hobby Lobby. And I'm also using some of that paper that you see there that you would use for like packaging, and some Mod Podge. So the first thing I'm doing is I am just going to use some warm white, it's called, on this board from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to cut out these, and they look like corn, okay? That's what I'm trying to make, corn. And then I'm going to put them down on my bubble wrap and just cut out the piece of how much I need. Then I'm going to use my sponge, and I'm going to dab in certain areas all these different paints. So I'm using orange, spiced orange, I'm using Tuscan red, I'm using regular orange, and I'm also using goldenrod for the yellow. And I'm just going to keep doing this all over the areas where I know I'm going to be putting down my cardboard. And you just keep going with it. Then I'm going to paint the corn with the goldenrod color. And I did 2 coats. Then I'm going to get my Mod Podge, and I'm going to put that down on each piece of my cardboard that's supposed to look like corn. And then I'm going to stick down the bubble wrap on top that I painted. And then I'm going to cut around once it dries. I'm going to cut around the edges. And there's my corn, you guys. Isn't that cool? I saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was really neat, so I tried it out. So then I'm going to glue down my corn like how I want it to look. And then I'm going to cut strips. I'm just cutting strips on this paper, okay? You could use, this is packaging paper that you could get at the Dollar Tree that I'm using. I just cut a piece off of the roll, and then I just, and this is going to be part of our stalk, the top part of our corn. And those strips are going to be glued down, and I'm also going to use some twine as well. And I'm gluing it down to the front. I glued the twine down, and then I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times. You're not going to see, the other parts. Then I took some of this raffia, and I just cut it, and then I'm going to put that down as well. I'm going to glue that to the front of where that paper is. And I'm just kind of like fanning it out, and then I'm just going to glue it. And you want it, you want enough so that it's not, you don't see that paper too much. You just want to see a little bit of it. And then I really play with this a lot. And I kind of move that paper towards the center. I like kind of intertwine them together. And then I'm going to take some of that thick twine, and now I'm just going to wrap it around the whole area there where I glued everything so you can't see it. And then I glued it to the back and then cut it off. Really, really simple. And then I'm just going to glue down the whole thing to my plaque. Now I also crumpled that paper in my hands. I didn't make it look straight. I made it, you know, crumple up so it looks like the stalks coming out of the corn. See how I'm crumpling it? And then I'm just kind of intertwining it in between the raffia. And I think it looked so cool, you guys. This turned out way better than I thought it would. And it was such an easy project and so much fun to make. So try it out. I had a ball making this. I don't know. It was fun. And then I just trimmed everything, you know. So it didn't look all crazy. You know, you want it to look decent. And there it is. And that's it, you guys. I hope you guys like it. Make sure you go check out the playlist and the host and the guest host. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And go check out my Etsy shop. And don't forget to subscribe. And as always, remember, stay crafty. Bye.